It is 1:51 p.m. on December 9th, 2013, calling the Willmar Police Department. Okay.
You've reached the Kandiyohi County Law Enforcement Center. If you know your party's extension, you may dial it at any time. For the Sheriff's Office, press 1. For the Police Department, press 2. For the jail, you have reached the Willmar Police Department. For the receptionist, press 1. For Chief Wyffels, press 2. For crime prevention, press 4. For victim services, press 6. If this is an emergency, press... Please hold while I transfer your call.
Okay, December 9th, 2013.
Chief Wyffels.
Chief Wyffels, this is Terry Numbers. How's it going today?
Good.
Well, that's good. Say, I've got a problem with some of your officials down there in Willmar. They're illegally withholding public data from me, which actually Shane Baker is illegally holding data from my case that I had back in 2006, but now I guess it would be public data. So I called him on September 25th, 2013, and he was claiming that, boy, I didn't know what I was talking about, that he's never withheld any evidence from me at all. But I have clear, precise, and unquestionable evidence that he is withholding evidence. And then on...
have you contacted the State Attorney General's office?
I'm talking to you about it right now.
Well, I understand that, but the proper procedure on a allegation against the county attorney would be to go to the Bar Association. That's who controls their licensure.
Well, I'm talking about criminal charges here because it's a criminal offense to illegally withhold public data. It's also criminal misconduct of a public official, which is a gross misdemeanor. And, okay, so now I'm going to finish my my narrative here. Okay.
And which statutes are you citing, Mr. Nimmers?
Okay, I will send you an email with all that information right now, just zipped off to your email box. Anyhow, I also contacted a Mr. Larry Kleindell. He's the county coordinator. On September 27th, 2013, I asked him for the data practice manual and for the policy on misconduct, which Mr. Kleindell made the wild claim that they don't have that kind of data for misconduct. They did send me the data practice manual, but they didn't send me anything on misconduct. So, we got two Kandiyohi County officials illegally withholding data. Both, one's a misdemeanor to legally hold public data, and the second one is, again, gross misdemeanor misconduct of a public official for willfully refusing to do their job. And
you reported this to the county sheriff?
I'm reporting it to you.
To Dan Hartog. I
okay.
guess I'm trying to direct you to the most appropriate agency.
I'm directing it to you because you're in charge of this. Okay?
Actually, I am not.
Actually, you are, because you are law enforcement and I'm contacting you. So, also, I need... Okay, yeah. So, anyhow, there's a bunch of data from your law enforcement agency that's missing, that I never received.
No, well, hold on a second. You say from my law enforcement agency, so you're talking about only the Willmar Police Department here.
Well, I'm talking... Well, this
because
case...
First of all, you need to understand my jurisdiction. My jurisdiction is the city of Willmar proper. If you're talking about incidents that have occurred outside of those city limits and/or cases handled by an agency outside of the actual Willmar Police Department, I again am informing you you're talking to the wrong person.
Well,
if you're talking about cases involving my officers specifically in cases within city limits of Willmar, then I can speak to you intelligently on that subject.
Well, seems to me your name is on this paperwork that I have here. Your complainant is David Wyffels of the Willmar Police Department.
That makes it even easier yet, then you can talk specifically to me.
Well, there you go, see? That's why I talked to you.
Okay, so what's the incident and what's the case number?
Okay. We have, it's court case number 34CR062054. And there's also a incident report number on the form filled out by your Colleen Myrie. It's 06-030880. So which one you prefer, I don't know.
I would prefer the ICR, the last one you gave me, but that gives me a starting point to even reference what subject it is that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Give me a second to get down into our reports. And then it was a
So did my email come through?
1 second, let me check. Is it addressed Lion News?
Correct.
Yep, that came through.
Okay. That should have your statute, both statutes on there for you, and the links to the evidence that I have posted up on my website.
I'm looking back to 2006 incident involving you,
Yep.
where it looks like you were charged with failure to display driver's license or give name to peace officer, manufacturing license plates, intent to escape tax, and no proof of insurance on this particular case.
Well, there's a whole bunch of charges, and a bunch of charges were dropped, so
Well,
it's...
those are the only 4 that I see.
Okay. Well,
I don't see
anyhow...
anything beyond that.
Well, anyhow, the thing is, according to Shane Baker's loony paperwork, it says that there is no electronic evidence. Tapes, audio, video, all audio-video referenced in reports are available for review at the Law Enforcement Center, contacting investigating officer listed in the report for assistance. It makes the wild claim that there is no information like that. Yet in the report...
I don't see anything audio or video that, looking under the list of stuff here for this case record, I see nothing under audio and video.
Well, I'm sure. Well, anyhow, in the report...
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just telling you, I don't see it.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Well, in the report, it says that your Colleen Myrie typed a note to Officer Scott Erickson using her computer, squad car computer. Okay, that's mobile data terminal traffic. So obviously there is some electronic information there. Plus, she radioed for backup, which is in your report. And also it says in hers that she activated her emergency lights. Okay, so obviously there's mobile data terminal traffic. There's obviously dispatch traffic. And when she activates her lights, there's obviously dash cam video. And seeing how it seems like she was sitting there for quite a long time, I would say that if she didn't have any of that, then she would have had personal body recorder. And plus there was multiple officers there and multiple lights and sirens, so I would say that there's all sorts of dash cam video and all sorts of personal recorders and all sorts of electronic evidence that's been illegally withheld from me.
Well, first of all, I don't see the existence of the electronic evidence that you're talking about. Secondly, I can tell you for a fact that if the electronic evidence is not asked for within 30 days, that electronic evidence is not held. We wouldn't keep every single piece of electronic evidence that is generated in a day's time. It's only kept in case there are charges, and then only kept if the defendant makes a request for it. Then we keep it as evidence. If there's no request, it's discarded because we don't have the mechanical capacity nor the physical capacity to store the type of evidence that you're talking about unless it's associated to a case and unless it has been asked for to be retained as evidence.
Well, see, the problem is it's the county attorney's job or your city attorney's job to make sure that I have that. There's no law that requires me to ask for it, but there's a law that says that I'm required to get it. And I explained that to... Okay, I am speaking right now. You can have your turn. I'll speak, then you can speak. I made it clear to Shane Baker, informing him that I have a copy of prosecution principles. And in prosecution principles, it says it doesn't matter whether it was an honest mistake or maliciously withheld. If there is data that is present and it's not given to the defendant, then it's a due process violation. See? So it's not my job to get it, it's his job to get it. And obviously, he had a copy of all this information. He could read it. He chose to ignore it. Plus, my attorney, who is the former county attorney, Jenna Fisher, said that they were trumped up charges. See? So obviously, it was a kangaroo court. It was illegal withholding of data from the beginning to end, because it even says in the report, your officer, Myrie, gets out of the car and begins to interrogate me without reading me my rights. See? So I could see why they'd want to destroy the dash cam video, because it'd be incriminating evidence having one of your officers interrogate me illegally.
Were you under arrest at the time?
Well, see, the thing is, I have this little handy book here, and it says that one of the police's dirty little tricks of avoiding Miranda is recasting the interrogation as a non-custodial interview. See? And that's what's happened.
Okay, but let's back up to my question. Were you under arrest at the time?
Okay, I already explained it to you. They were asking me questions in regard to the case, not general questions like my name, because it says right in the report. They're asking me about that information. And I was saying that I was not going to speak to them unless I spoke to a judge. See? So, and they had okay, I am not done speaking. You can get your chance in just a second. Okay? So, that means these people had no intention of letting me go. Their intention was to arrest me as soon as they stopped me. See? So that makes it an arrest. That doesn't make it a custodial, non-custodial interview. It makes it an arrest. That's what it is. I'm done speaking. You can speak now.
Okay. I was just waiting for you to finish.
Sure, I'm done.
You're telling me that their intention was, I don't know what device, scientific or otherwise, that you have that's capable of measuring a person's intentions. Therefore, I cannot speak to the allegation you just made. You're assuming, because this is an assumption unless they specifically told you this, the minute that the very first words they uttered to you was, my intentions are to arrest you further, but I'm going to talk to you now, then I guess that would clearly state their intentions, but I don't have any record or knowledge of that. So I cannot speak to the officer's intention at the moment they first had contact with you and at the moment they first engaged in dialogue with you.
Well, see, the problem is intent is determined by actions. They knew their actions were going to result in my arrest after they willfully refused to read me my rights. See, that's real simple. You know, I've heard the little intent game before. See?
It is in your mind. I understand that. It's a very simple concept.
Yes.
However, sometimes intent does not develop until you have action.
Well, they already did act, which would be very clear on the day. Okay, I am not done.
Under arrest at the time.
Okay, I already explained it to you.
And they made action.
I already explained it to you how it works. This is how they do it. Okay? Well, the thing is, all you have to do is provide the dash cam video, and we'll see if I was under arrest or not. But see, that was illegally withheld from me. And the body cameras, or the body recorders, were illegally withheld from me. That's real simple. See? The MDT. I have it right here in the report. It says the MDT. A note was sent to Officer Scott Erickson. That's electronic. See? So you can't tell me that this information doesn't exist because the report says it exists. See?
Mr. Nemers, you have a very simple request here.
Yes.
You're looking for data.
Yes.
You state you have an attorney, Jenna Fisher. Simply have her, in legal format, contact the county attorney's office, which she's quite familiar with because she was at one time a county attorney here herself, and make the request.
You mean I should contact Judge Jenna Fisher now?
Whomever you wish to contact.
Well, you just got done telling me that I was supposed to contact Jenna Fisher. Okay?
Well, you told me that's who's representing.
I never said that she was representing me. I said she was my attorney. See, at that time. She has since become the county attorney, and she was a part of this little operation here also, because she was still the county attorney when I called. See? But instead of her doing the right thing, she pretends like, this situation doesn't exist and runs off to claim that she's a judge. Well, that's fine. That's fine. See? Because just like intentions are determined by actions, so can careers be ended by actions. Seeing so she chose not to act to do the right thing and make sure that I got my data. See? Because on September 25th, 2013, she was still the county attorney.
I'm not arguing you.
Well, you're the one telling me I should contact...
I don't know what her tenure or term was. I mean, I didn't write it down when she started or when she quit, but it's very plausible.
Well, it's in the newspaper. If I could read it, I'm sure you could read it. You get the Willmar paper, I'll bet.
Actually, you're wrong. I don't, but that's beside the point. That's got nothing to do with this conversation.
Well, it's public knowledge, so...
I would agree with you. I don't think anybody's trying to hide what date she either became a county attorney or ended her career as a county attorney and took over a judge position, and I wouldn't argue that as fact. I totally believe that to be facts. What I'm attempting to tell you is I don't know those exact dates, so I wouldn't even argue on that point.
Well, anyhow, we go back to the fact that data is illegally being withheld from me by the new county attorney, Shane Baker, and the county coordinator, Larry Kleindell. So that's what I want you to deal with. Plus, I want my data that you have in your possession, and I want it.
I'll tell you right now, the digital data that you're requesting does not exist in our department.
Well, I'm sure it's sitting over in Shane Baker's little file over there where it was, originally.
That may be. They may have a copy, but I cannot speak for that office.
Well, of course not. But see
that I have control under.
Well, the thing is, when you're investigating for criminal misconduct and illegally withholding data, then you can. See? So just get a search warrant and search his little files there, and then everything will be fine. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening to you.
Yeah, well. So I'm expecting you to do something. What do you plan on doing?
Well, it seems to me you've pretty much clearly spelled out my marching orders and are dictating what should be done.
Well, I think that's what your job is. So I think I just told you the obvious. Right?
No, I'm listening to you. I'm taking this straight down here and listening to what you say my marching orders are doing and what I'm supposed to be doing as a public official, and then I'll have to consult with somebody to see if it falls within the realm of my jurisdiction to begin with, or if it's somebody higher up. Maybe it's the state BCA investigating misconduct by an official higher than myself. I don't know.
Well, I guess you can find that out and contact me again. Since I gave you my email address, I'll gladly give you my phone number, which is 320-283-5713. So now you have two forms of communication. Actually, you have three because you have my address. So you can act on your marching orders then? Like right now? Is that what you're waiting for me to tell you to...
Well, first I'm going to determine whether or not they're even legal requests or valid requests, or if they have merit. That's what I'll do first.
Well, I'm sure that whoever you're going to take it to is going to say they aren't. There is no merit to it.
And I will have to cross that bridge when I get to it.
Well, we already know how that works because it's a lawless county in Kandiyohi County.
We don't know that until I make the inquiry.
Well, no, see, I've seen this little dog and pony show before, so I know how it's going to turn out. That, you know,
Okay,
the
so
people.
then why would you waste my time on this?
No, you're wasting my time, is what the situation is.
I
See?
believe you called me.
Well, exactly, because I want to see you claim like you're going to do something and then nothing happens. So that is the whole purpose of this, is to show everyone that.
Well, I would think the whole purpose of this is to record me and get me on tape and say that I made some allegations or whatever, and post it. That's what I would think this is all about.
No, it's to show that you don't care what the law is. You know, just to prove to me that there's two different sets of laws. That's the whole purpose of this. See, because it was explained to me by the sheriff down there that they do things differently down there. See,
Which sheriff?
Well, the Hartog.
Okay, so you had conversation with them.
Well, years ago when this first occurred, because I wanted your officers arrested for breaking the law, but he, of course, he sent it off to Boyd Beckew. You remember Boyd Beckew, don't you?
Certainly.
Yeah, the guy who I helped run out of office. See, yeah, because he came up with some lame story that there was no crime committed, so he wasn't going to prosecute. Well, geez, that was pretty handy, wasn't it? Seems how he was prosecuting me at the same time, and he wouldn't want to prosecute his own witnesses, right? See, so again.
Well, looking at these charges here, I'm not so sure that those wouldn't have been handled by the city attorney at the time.
Well,
I don't know that they give rise to be handled by the county attorney's office.
Well, you know what? Then maybe you need to start investigating old Boyd there, because he conspired with one of his probation officers to break into my home without a warrant here up in Pope County. He got the Pope County Sheriff's Department to break in my home, never had a warrant, and then they falsified a probable cause statement, which is perjury, saying that they had a warrant. And guess what? There never was a warrant. See? So again, I mean, the whole little system you guys have is corrupt from beginning to end, and it just expands outward.
Well, obviously, from what you're telling me, this expands way beyond county borders then, and my most, how do I want to tell you this?
Well, you're just trying to tell me.
Educated and best response I could give you is, if you believe there's corruption, first of all, at the little bitty petty local level of the Willmar Police Department, which expands on into the still quite small in relationship to the whole state, Kandiyohi County Sheriff's Department, Kandiyohi County Attorney's Office, and the Kandiyohi County Administrator's offices, but you're still just dealing with one simple little county out of 80-some in the state of Minnesota, and now it's expanded over county lines into Polk County and involving other sheriff's departments. I really think that you're talking to the wrong person, which is me, because you're asking me if there's corruptness here that you're alleging. You're asking me to investigate my own corruptness. Well, then you would say it's an expected answer. Why wouldn't you be going to the state at a much higher level to have this investigated, especially when it spans across multiple jurisdictions?
Well, see, I like to.
I'm confused by that. I would think in your best interest, in your best attempt to get some changes done, you wouldn't mess around with these podunk, no account law enforcement agencies. That's great. That's great.
Well, I thought you guys could police yourselves, and I guess you can't. I do like
well,
okay.
This is the whole premise of your allegation, that we aren't policing ourselves. And I'm saying, why would you waste your time then to come back here and yank our chain saying we're not policing ourselves? You have a much bigger case, a much greater issue at hand, and you have really no business bringing it back to what you believe is the source if you don't think the source is going to correct itself. You need to be going much higher. You need to go to your state legislatures. You need to go to your representatives, and you need to have these agencies shut down if this is what is going on.
Well, that's the thing.
Including the Willmar Police Department, if you believe this is corrupt.
Well, the thing is, that's all the purpose.
So that's where I advise you to go, Mr. Nimmers, with this. Something much bigger than us here.
Oh, I like your.
Something in some area that can take control over what you feel is an injustice.
Uh,
Because you cannot ask an agency that you feel is corrupt. I mean, you've totally indicated that you feel this agency is corrupt, as others.
uh-huh.
How would you ask them to correct themselves if you feel they're not going to do it anyway? Isn't that kind of a wasted effort on your behalf?
Okay, are you done with your appeal to ridicule yet?
No.
Oh, okay, you're going to keep on going with your appeal to ridicule?
No, I'm going to keep on going with my appeal to your common senses. That
No. What you're engaging is something. Okay, I'm speaking.
Somebody lower.
I'm speaking right now. Okay. Now, what you're engaging is something. It's a logical fallacy called appeal to ridicule. You're trying to minimize this and make me feel stupid. You know, it's a gaslighting technique. See, I have seen this before. See, so the thing is, it's your job to investigate it. So if you don't want to do your job, well, then I've served my purpose because you're admitting that you don't want to investigate yourself. See?
No, I'm admitting that it wouldn't be proper for an agency to investigate itself, especially in the area of law enforcement, if you're claiming corruption. if you ask the Chicago police, if you believe the Chicago police are corrupt, and you go and you say, I need you to investigate yourself, do you honestly think you're going to get a fair and an impartial investigation?
Oh, so you mean their internal affairs are a waste of time? Is that what you're trying to say?
In some cases, I would argue that it may be.
Okay, well then, so is that into the situation here that, you know, my talking to you is a waste of my time and your time?
I believe it's a waste of your time and my time, correct, because I believe that you figure this allegation that you have against Kandiyohi County, the attorney, the administrator, and the Willmar Police Department has much greater significance and magnitude than to ask those agencies, or would you say that they all collude and collaborate together to ask those agencies to investigate themselves? I think you need, on your behalf and on behalf of the citizens of Minnesota and the United States, to a higher agency that has the ability to affect the type of change you're looking for.
Right.
Get you the answers that you need.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. I'm not going with your
Well,
little...
if that's not going to happen, then it's by your own choice and choosing.
Well, that's because I called you and told you to do your job, and I'm expecting you to do your job. And if you don't want to do your job, then...
And I got that message from you, yes.
Good. I don't know why you're wasting my time with this long 5-minute dialogue about where I should go to somewhere else. See? You're insulting my intelligence and wasting my time. See? All I was asking... Okay.
Or don't give you the answer that you're expecting, then what's your next step?
Well, you know, I've always have a next step.
Well, of course you do.
Of course I do.
The step would be to go somebody higher, and I'm already telling you, why don't you start that initiative?
No, because I need you to do your little dog and pony show, and then I'm going to go to the next higher step. See? That's why.
Well, when you hang up with me, start that process so you don't get too far behind.
You don't need to worry about me. I've got everything under control. See?
Great.
So all you need to do is just worry about yourself, and I'll worry about myself. How about that? Can you handle that?
I'm not even going to respond to that.
Okay. Well, then I'm done wasting my time talking to you. I expect you to go look into this, and I expect to be contacted. Oh, what would be fair? 10 days?
I'm not going to respond to that either.
Oh, okay. Because you're just not going to do anything, right?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, I just need to know I need to have a target date, so when I should call back and find out how the progress of this case is going.
Mr. Nemmers, I'm going to interrupt this time, and it might be rude, but I don't want to waste any more of your time. I'm going to hang up now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, I had a great time. I'm sure you didn't, though, but that's all right.
It wasn't all a loss then. You have a good day.
Yeah, bye.
All right.